What's up, everybody? It's time for more Mass Effect hot takes. It's been a few months since I made a hot take video. There were some hot takes given after the last one, and I thought that now would be a good time to look at them. I like doing these as it allows you guys to comment on what you think about things in the series, and for me to share my thoughts in response. We got about 6 takes for this video, so let's go ahead and go through them. My hot take is that Mass Effect 2 is the worst gameplay-wise in the series, especially on higher difficulties. It's so damn slow compared to either 1 or 3. 1 has the older janky feel that I love in games, and 3 is very fluid, especially on Vanguard. In 2, you're stuck to cover the entire time, or you're dying non-stop, and that's just not fun with how tanky enemies are in 2, with the changes to health types for 1, especially once you hit hardcore or higher. This is something I agree with. I will go back to Mass Effect 2 and 3 before 1, but I do enjoy Mass Effect 1 and 3's gameplay over 2. They overhauled the gameplay system between 1 and 2, and when you're working with a new system, there's bound to be growing pains. For 1, Mass Effect 2 does feel stiff compared to the other games. Like you said, Mass Effect 3 is more fluid, and Mass Effect 1 is a bit loose, but it's that 2000s jank that makes it charming. The ragdoll physics are hilarious. I do agree that the enemies are pretty tanky, but it's also the weapons they use. Like even the Loki mechs with an SMG can trap you in cover. And when there's a lot of them, god dang. The SMG is the bane of my existence, by the way. But then you got enemies like the Scions and Praetorians, and whenever Harbinger decides he wants to join in the fight, and even the mercs can apply pressure when there's a lot of them. So yeah, with all that going on, you'll get stuck in cover, and things can get a bit hectic and annoying. I did like how Metagel and Unity were a bit more separate in Mass Effect 1. While both required Metagel, Unity was more for reviving your dead squad mates in 1, while you could use Metagel to heal you and your squad mates, and how much you healed was based on your first aid ability, but in Mass Effects 2 and 3, they combined the system so that Unity is the main way to heal and revive everybody. I guess it was for more uniformity in the health system, but I did like how 1 handled that. But overall, I agree with this take. We got 2 takes from WinWin3170. I was only going to talk about one of these, but these are some good talking points, so we're doing both. My hot take? Mass Effect 2 kind of ruined the franchise with its Hollywoodification of the universe Bioware had created. Companions used to have their own separate inventory to manage, and they used to wear actual armor. Come Mass Effect 2, and we have Jack and Miranda venturing into the vacuum of space with their tits out in a pathetic breather mask. Kasumi destroying Donovan Hawk's ship was peak cringe, and it left me with a bad taste in my mouth, knowing where the series was headed. Don't even get me started with thermal clips and how every single government just decided to adopt them in a span of 2 years. Meanwhile on Earth, it took just a single country like the USA 60 plus years not to switch, but just adopt one caliber to another, and they're still working on it. I don't know if it ruined the franchise per se, but 2 and 3 definitely don't feel like Mass Effect 1 in terms of vibe. And Mass Effect 2 was the beginning of a more power fantasy style of game, but I do like the steampunk, edgier feel that 2 has. I do agree on your point about the ladies not having armor where it would be appropriate for them to wear it. Like, who wouldn't be wearing armor on a planet like Tarif, chlorine everywhere and shit? Yeah, a breather mask will allow you to breathe, but that chlorine will tear someone's skin to pieces. And it wouldn't have been a better idea to have everyone wearing armor during missions in general, or even at the very most, where they would make sense. Mass Effect 3 does a better job of giving you an armor option for characters like Ashley and Liara, if you want to equip it, so that's one thing. I didn't have a real problem with the weapons themselves. And 2, I more or less had a problem with certain weapons being reserved for certain classes. It took me a long time to play 2 as anything else besides the soldier because of that. Now with the change to thermal clips, yeah, the in-game reason is plausible. Thermal clips provide more of an edge during battles, is why the Geth were so much better in 1 compared to everyone else. But you could argue that yeah, everyone would not be able to adopt their technology as fast as they did. Gameplay-wise, makes sense for consistency. Story-wise, yeah, when you think about it, not possible. But I don't think there would have been a great way of explaining that. As far as Kasumi, was the way she took down Hawk's ship outrageous? Yeah, you can say that, but it was still kinda cool though. She hit that thing with an EMP. I did like that. Also, a real hot take. Pinnacle Station is overhated. It's not great, but it had a purpose. It was the only way to buy all the high-end gear for your companions once you beat Ahern's challenge and got his house. In Legendary Edition, I could only get 2 suits of Colossus armor, and it was a heavy armor that only Ashley could wear, and another one for Tally that I had to get from the engineer at the X-57 Asteroid DLC. Mind you, I have completed every single quest by the end of the game and was max possible level without exploits, and the vendors on every single planet were still selling crap like level 8 or 9 armors and guns. Not great, but useful is the best take when it comes to this DLC. The DLC does give you access to some of the best items in the game. You do get that satisfaction of sticking it to Vadinos, and then you can test yourself with the mythic level Ahern mission. The problem with Pinnacle Station is that it does get mundane after a while to complete every challenge. I think what it comes down to is if you care enough to go there or not. That's the deal breaker. But it's still a shame that DLC is lost when it comes to the Legendary Edition, unless you use the PC mod to add it back. My hot take is Kazumi and Zaid were did dirty in Mass Effect 2, never given any conversation scenes. They were DLC characters, but they shouldn't have been. They're dope characters. Yeah, they were relegated to DLC, and you do feel that contrast between them and the base characters, especially during the conversations on the Normandy. Apparently they were supposed to be part of the main cast, but were cut, probably due to time crunch. I do agree that they're dope characters though. They fit the more gritty vibe of Mass Effect 2. Kasumi being a master thief, and the reveal of Zaid being the founder of the Blue Suns really fit in with the game. Although it's kind of funny considering that Shepard and company packed up the Terminus gangs, Blue Suns included, and that you can take Zaid on the mission where that happens, and the fact that there's actually a conversation between him and Tarek really shows that he was supposed to be a main character at a point. Hot take. Bioware needs to shut down before they have a chance to ruin Mass Effect with 5. Nah, we gotta see it through, man. I know I do. I'm too invested to not get the game. Zaid is a lesser character than Jacob. Miranda is a character above Tally but below Liara. Is Zaid really a lesser character than Jacob? Yeah, maybe, but not by much. If I could give Jacob something, it's that we see more of him compared to Zaid. He's given more attention. But that's a given since he was a main character at a point. And he does have that loyalty mission going for him as well. It's one of the best missions in the series, but Zaid's is no slouch either, and Zaid has more personality, but we didn't get enough of him. The juicier part of this is Miranda being above Tally in the character hierarchy. Look, I love Miranda, but I don't think I could put her above Tally, because Tally gets a ton of character development, and her story is more important to the events of Mass Effect as a whole. You know, a whole race gets knocked off if you don't play things smoothly, and with her being our whole Geth expert and all that. And her relationship with Shepard is also great. Things do get a little rocky with the whole Corey and Geth war, but no one was right in that conflict. However, Miranda gets a ton of character development in her own right. The change starts in 2, especially after you rescue Oriana, but in 3 she's pretty chill, even though she has her own situation going on. That ice has been melted off the Queen. She is important to the endgame of 3 as well. She finally dealt with her dad and saved Oriana, and she is the reason we got to destroy Cerberus HQ and spin back on Kai Lang for Thane and Thessia, and she does have a nice relationship with Shepard too. But to say she's above Tally, I can't quite say that, but she's in the higher tier for sure. But that's all the takes I have for this video, guys. If you have any takes that you would like to share, put them in the comments and they may end up in the next hot take video. I want to thank you guys for watching. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.
DJ Sonic Freak.